What's up, Flomies? This is Jesse Hart of Full Circle Phenomenal. Welcome to the Sacred Flow Art channel. Today, we're at the lovely Eagle's Nest in Lake Atitlan, Guatemala. Catherine and I have been here for a little over 2 months now, teaching and performing flow arts, fire spinning, as well as acrobatic yoga, qigong, meditation, conscious streaming, and quite a bit more. One thing in particular that I enjoyed was getting to perform a choreographed routine to a remake of Fly Like an Eagle, and then being the first person to jump off the platform over there, where David, one of my students, is juggling right now. The theme of this Eagle's Nest space is very much staying interconnected with the inner child, or reconnecting with the inner child for some, as when we get lost in the adult mind and get busy doing adulting and taking care of life, surviving, paying bills, essentially not playing and just getting the job done in order to make ends meet, we can really drain the essence out of life, and in so doing, apply that into everything else that we do, to the point where we don't play anymore. Now, a big part of the reason why I teach flow arts is to enable what I like to call professional play, or being a professional kid, and recognizing that life is not about serious situations and preoccupations. Now, for a lot of people, it becomes that, life or death. And then in so doing, don't live a lot of life and just kind of survive long enough to reach an inevitable death. So let's consider for a moment, if you had no limitations and could do anything you want, what would you want to do? So since you're here on the Sacred Flow Art channel, I trust that you want to learn how to be a very good, exceptional, or even professional flow artist. In order to do that, you can only develop your skills so much through the tech poi that we've taught you today. So today is going to be actually more focused on being able to put moves together, as well as develop your own style and learn about not needing to. So depending on your situation, whether you want to perform professionally or just entertain family or friends, I recommend that the first thing that you learn about is how to keep flowing no matter what. That doesn't matter if you succeed in performing a trick or not succeed in performing a trick. Because the truth about it is that most people will not be able to tell the difference between a mistake and just you flowing if you keep flowing. Mostly mistakes in our life are noticed when we bring attention to them. So first thing that you want to do when you're learning how to develop your tricks all together is learn how to, even when you don't make it, keep flowing. The second thing is, don't be afraid to stray away from what you're not familiar with. Now granted, if you're performing fire, I always recommend that you are sure, 100% sure, that you're able to perform a trick before doing it on fire. Else, when we start to show off and start to gamble, that's typically the time when we screw up. Another time when we screw up is also when we apply too much energy to the poi or to whatever prop you're using. I can focus on this very easily. When I start to speed it up, the energy build, my focus, my conscious awareness starts to fade, and typically that's when we need to slow down, bail out, before you actually hit yourself. Almost all of my mistakes have been from me overwhelming my mind and over-challenging myself in the moment, rather than recognizing what the crowd and what you are both going to enjoy the most are the things that come more or less effortless for you. To develop that childlike zeal and spirit with an adult kind of expert master ease. So, take whatever tricks that you know, even if you've just developed your basic 4 directions. and think, how can I combine this into the next trick? Perhaps your next trick would be you'll whack the golf ball over the rainbow, or hip reel, shoulder reel. Maybe turn it into a split time and become the 3-beat weave. Can you transfer it into the reverse 3-beat weave? Back into the same time wall plane. Now we have quite a few students who are able to develop quite a few of these tricks in just 2 or 3 weeks. Even the butterfly, or butterfly behind the head. It doesn't take a lot. What matters is, can you maintain poise and an enthusiasm? Because that's how you're going to create the sense of professionality, at the same time the sense of spirit, which is what the audience is really looking for. That you're enjoying yourself. Are you able to perform with a smile on your face, with full body, mind, and breath awareness? This is true mastery of flow arts. Learning about the prop that is the body, mind, and breath, which is why we teach yoga and qigong before and after each one of our flow arts lessons. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about that, you can reach out to me or go to my YouTube channel at Full Circle Phenomenal. Just yesterday evening, we got to perform for the 10-year anniversary of World Schooling, formerly Hostel del Lago, as well as their opening of a restaurant, or rather their workers' restaurant, Damas del Lago. And we had our students, 3 of our students, perform in front of an audience for the first time. And one of our students, Aoife, from Ireland that we taught, incorporated what she already knew of fusing together Irish dancing, or river dancing, with her own fun style of how she just lets herself dance with flowing fire. And it was great. It was absolutely phenomenal. I've never seen someone progress so quickly and within their second burn being able to perform their own style with the tricks that they learned in front of an audience. And she got on a good roll, got a little carried away, and then made a mistake, and then had to try and kind of focus through that. But what was so wonderful and entertaining was the rawness of her experience. And by rawness, I mean she was fully authentic. You could see her style, you could see what she knew, you could see what she could use a little bit of work on. And she didn't judge herself. The audience didn't judge her. So the question is, how much will you allow yourself to judge yourself, and how much will you allow yourself just to constructively critique? And let that be the fine line between your youthful, infinite, spirited self and your finite, controlled, structured, adult professionality. This is, to me, where flow arts gets really fun, because it becomes truly limitless. So start putting the pieces together. Start taking the structure that we've taught you through your tech poi and see about the infinite amount of ways that you can put them together. And then perhaps forget about all that and just start walking around the space. See what flows through you. See about random plane changes that maybe you hadn't ever considered. The lot in which I can teach you isn't nearly the amount that you can teach yourself if you just give yourself the permission to be all right with making mistakes. Or the illusion of error, I call it. Perhaps even just simply lessons in love. Because the only way we get good at something is experiencing the humility of not being good at something. Say there's 2 types of humility that we will all inevitably experience. One is having failed for tried. The other, having failed for never tried. So since you're here, since you're trying, since you're practicing doing, and you're doing flow arts, start to consider the infinite amount of ways that you can combine the tricks that you already know all together. Start to experiment. See if you might develop your own style of tricks. How much can you move your feet? can you move to music at the same time? These are just a few things to consider. One way or another, you want to keep it fun. You want to do it right, you want to do it structured, you want to keep that discipline going so that you can achieve a very high masterful level. But the only way you'll fully do that is if you can make sure that you still keep it fun. Because the second this becomes a chore, it's no longer play. Granted, there's a balance between just playing all the time, which a lot of flowers do, which is perfectly fine. But if you want to take it to a really high level, you need to structure it. You need to be willing to take it sincere to the point of serious. Else, you start to play with fire and you're not respectful enough. That's when things get a little hairy. That's when people get injured. So have fun. Get creative. Don't ever think about your limitation, except in terms of where you want to become less limited. Because that's where we need to practice. And it doesn't matter what level you're at. It doesn't matter if you're a brand new beginner or super advanced. There's always more to learn, and there's always more capacity to get into a more grand flow state, we call it, of body, mind, and spirit. And the key is actually in your breathing. So put those tricks together. Take a yoga or qigong class or two on my channel so that you can maintain ever more practice of the most important prop that is your mind and body. Incorporate it together with the breath, and the more you practice your prop, the more you practice your yoga and meditation, the more and more quickly it's going to seem like your prop is just an extension of yourself. Happy flowing. See you next time. Follow along our journey driving around the world by searching Unite the World Firsthand. And for more on yoga, wellness consulting, and flow arts fire spinning, go to fullcirclephenomenal.com or search us on social media.
For less than 1 cup of coffee a month, you can grow your finer motor skills, increase your health and happiness, as well as grow professional flow arts fire spinning teams around the whole world. Become a patron of the Unite the World Firsthand global movement and assist in the coming together of the planet through fun and focus. Go to patreon.com/Unite the World Firsthand and check out the 9 different ways you can assist and collaborate.